Hello, everyone. Welcome today. If you have a piece of paper, a pencil, colored pencil, blue, hopefully, we will be doing an activity here in just a moment. My name is Ekuwah Moses, and I am the author of My Name Is an Address. And I am happy to be with you here today and see some lovely, beautiful faces. Thank you for choosing to spend your time with us today. I am joined with a dear friend of mine, and I'll let her introduce herself.
Yes, my name is Nana Brew-Hammond, Nana Ekua Brew-Hammond, and I am the author of Blue, and I'm really excited to share it with you.
Thanks again, everyone, for coming today. We are excited to share about both of our stories and a little bit of our author journey on how we got to where we are and a little bit of behind the scenes on the creation of our stories as well. But as we're spending our time together today, we would love to get to know you too. So in the chat, feel free to drop your name and where you're joining us from. And on your piece of paper, if you wouldn't mind, I want you to express your name. Think of some visuals that would describe your name and add those too. So on a piece of paper, as you can see, Miss Katie wrote her name real fancy, and she's just a ray of sunshine. So she added some sunshine to her name. Miss Nina is more floral and brought some flowers into her name. Miss Flora actually added some rainbow stickers and things like that. But whatever you have around, if you wouldn't mind, please add that to your name and express your name today. We'll give you an opportunity to share your drawing with us a little bit later. And we can't wait to see what you come up with. So as we're going through today's presentation, feel free to doodle and add some more of your character and who you are to your name today. So welcome during Nevada Reading Week. We're catching the reading wave here in Nevada. And for those of you who are in other parts of the country, welcome. It's also Read Across America Week. And so we're excited to spend this time with you. I enjoy reading, and as you can see here in my home, I have all kinds of different colorful books. And I especially like books about names and hearing the stories that people have shared about their name and their journey and how they're living life with their name. Started as a young child with the book Chrysanthemum. Have you read Chrysanthemum? Or Your Name is a Song is a recent one I got acquainted with, and I really enjoy it. I came across the one at the bottom of the screen, Nana Ekua Goes to School, and that one really stuck out to me. Although it's not a book about names, it was a name from Ghana, and I instantly recognized it, and I thought, wow, I have to read this book. And I was really interested because the character in this story talked about bringing her grandmother to school. And you'll find out I also enjoy bringing my father to school as well. And so I thought, wow, these books are really great. I know I have a story to share, and I would love to share it. Many people ask, well, why did you choose to write a book about names? Well, just as I mentioned, lots and lots of reading brought me here. And as I was growing up, one of the things my father used to always say to me is, what's in a name? And there's just so much to unpack. And I kind of felt like Kermit the Frog there that you see on the screen, kind of shouting out, hey, I have a name. And whenever I think about my name, I think about all the history and geography, the location, the migration, my family traveled, the language and culture, heritage and family, and what my name means as well. And I wanted to share with children and readers of all ages just how important names are and that there's so much in there to unpack. And so that is what inspired me to write my story. Some people ask, well, why did you choose an A to Z format? Well, the A to Z format came from one of my favorite alphabet books. It's here on your screen. It's A is for Africa. And in this book, it's a nonfiction story. She used real photographs and took readers on a journey through Africa. And I thought, hey, I would love to do that too. I have a story I would like to share with the world that could explain names, my name, my culture, my family, and I could do it in an A to Z format so I could show just how wide and deep names go. And so what I came up with is a story called My Name is an Address. And with this story, I'm not going to read the whole story to you today, just a little taste of it, so you can kind of get an idea of what it is and how I came to this point. I designed this book with artifacts from my father and art from my mother. So on the cover, you can see my name is there and I'm listed as the author and illustrator, but I had some help with the graphics from my mother. So let's get started. A is for address. I am American, but people are confused when they see my name written or hear it spoken. Where's your name from? Some ask. Well, my name leads to the continent of Africa. And I really wanted to put this in the story because sometimes people get confused and they think Africa is a country, but in fact, it's actually a continent and it's very beautiful and diverse. And there are a lot of leaders in our country, like the Big Six you can see on there. The Big Six are some men who really fought for Ghana's independence particularly. B is for born. My father was born in Cape Coast, Ghana. He lived in a 2-story compound house. It is in a busy neighborhood called Kwanapadu. Our extended family still lives there. Generations of family pictures are hung high on the walls. And I want to pause for just a second. We have a surprise guest with us, students and families and teachers who are with us today. I have invited my father here, and we have another guest as well that he will introduce too. So Dad, if you don't mind to pop on and tell our participants today, how do I know my co-host today?
Oh yeah, it's a very interesting story, and I'm glad you all are listening to us today. And co-host Ekuwah Nana Brew-Hammond is her father went to the same school with me, so we are classmates, and we've been friends for over 50-something years. We still keep in touch, and I'm glad that our daughters are collaborating to present to you this afternoon. So thank you all very much, and please listen carefully.
Thank you. And Mr. Brew-Hammond, if you would like to join too, you are welcome.
Hi, Daddy. If you want to go on camera and say anything. Well, I'll keep going as he decides if he wants to.
Oh, sure, absolutely. Well, we're glad both of them are here because both of them are absolutely crucial to our story and our journey to where we are today. And we thank them for their friendship. So continuing on, there is my father again. And you see me as an actual baby. That is my real baby photo. D is for distinct. Mama and Papa gave me a name that is distinct from the names of most people. I am thankful they decided to follow a cultural tradition. It is the name that is common in Papa's country. So as you see, my coach, Nana Ekua, also has the name Ekuwah, just like I do. And it is common where our fathers are from, although it's not common here. And so that's why I wanted to celebrate it for people around the world to know that even though you might feel different, there is a place that you might actually be more common than you realize. E is for examples. Ekuwah is my first name and leads to my ancestors' country. My middle name, Ruth, leads to my Christian religion. I have cousins with the same first name, but their parents chose a more traditional Fanti spelling, Ekuwah. My grandfather suggested the spelling of my name. So again, as you see our two names on the covers of our books, you'll notice that I spell mine Ekuwah, and she has that more traditional spelling, Ekuwah, but our address are the same. G is for gold. Ghana is in West Africa. It was called the Gold Coast until the end of the British rule. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah announced independence on March 6, 1957. I am blessed to be called, more specifically, a Ghanaian American. And on this, I would like to remind you, March 6th is coming up, Ghana's independence. And also, do you see the color blue? Ghana has a lot of blue. And like she said, blue is an address. Colors have a lot of meaning in Ghana. And so I can't wait for you to hear about more specifically the color blue from my friend. On this slide, you can also see that I have a bracelet. And in America, it's really hard for me to find personalized products with my name on it. But in Ghana, I was able to get my bracelet made with my own name. And then this is another bracelet that you see on that slide as well. K is for kind. Children teased me and called me Hakuna Matata. Their singing and laughing made me feel like I did not fit in. I felt lonely, embarrassed, and ashamed of my name. My parents talked to me and helped boost my confidence. They told me to be kind and remember our family values. And I would love to ask you, were you ever teased with your name, Ekuwah?
I was definitely teased, and I was so embarrassed of having the middle name Ekuwah for so long. When I was very young, I remember one year my mom printed Christmas cards with my full name on it. And when I saw the Ekuwah, I was aghast. I scratched the name out with black pen. And it was only actually when I went to school in Ghana, when I was 12 years old, that I learned to love my name, because I understood and I found out that it did have an address. It had so much meaning that I was very proud of.
That's awesome. And again, we're so different in our journeys to where we are. And I love to hear other people's stories. So N is for name. Teachers always mispronounced my name and asked if I had a nickname. I told them I did not and politely taught them how to say my name. I would gracefully correct them when they practiced the pronunciation. I like my name. It is me. I do not want my name changed or erased. And I encourage everyone to just have patience and grace with people as they learn your name. Yes, it can be frustrating and sometimes annoying and embarrassing when people are learning your names, but it's so important to respect and for our relationships together. So give people time. And there are certain sounds in other languages that we don't have in English. And so sometimes it is a challenge. It's not impossible, but it can be a challenge. And it's so important that we give it our full effort. Q is for questions. My parents knew I would have a lot of questions. Mom created homemade books for me to learn about Ghana. The pages included the English and Bantu language. We read those books together over and over. I still ask questions and try to learn more about our language, history, and culture each day. And as you can see, that is my first book. Here it is as well. This is the first book my mother ever made for me, and I cherish it so much because my mother passed away in 2017. But I look back on this and I just remember how much she loved and cared and tried so hard to make sure that we knew who we were and where we're from. T is for treasure. Mama and Papa taught us to value the art of Ghana. We have unique handmade artifacts from our visits. The decorations in my home point to an address just like my name does. And on the slide there, you can see those are my children. And that is on one of our trips to Ghana in 2013. And I did get their permission before putting them in the book. They are now 15 and 16 years old. And so they definitely were interested in what Mom was putting in the story. But lots of different artifacts, and I have some of them here for you to see today. Ghana is just amazing with all the different things our artisans are making. U is for unique. There are many girls in the world named Ekuwah, but I am unique. My hobbies, talents, experiences, goals, and achievements make me one of a kind. So as my friend Ekuwah on this call today also has the same name, we couldn't be more different, but we're also a lot the same as well. And so that's what makes the world beautiful. So why do we have the same name? W is for why. Ekuwah identifies the day of the week I was born and my gender. I am a girl born on Wednesday. Babies born on Wednesday are the famous and fearless ones. Ask Kweku Anansi the spider. And if you've ever read the folk tales of Anansi the spider, you've heard of Kweku Anansi. But yes, that's why we have the name Ekuwah, because it is a day name. And each day of the week has a name. And there's even a tool I have linked on my website to help you figure out what yours is, what day of the week you were born, and what year. Then you can find out what your icon name would be. I'm going to end the story here with the letter Z. Z is for zest. Grandpa is 102 years old and lives life with zest. He likes to crack a witty joke, give a loving smile, or unexpectedly sing an inspirational tune. I am proud to represent him, my family, the country of Ghana, and the African ancestors who paved the way for me. My name is an address. What is your address? And I would just like to update this story here to let you know my grandfather unfortunately passed away 2 weeks ago at the age of 103. He lived an amazing, wonderful, beautiful life, and we are happy to carry on his legacy and the things that he started with our family. So I challenge you now. I shared my story with you. I can't wait to hear your story. And if you don't think of yourself as a writer, please remember everyone has something to say. Everyone has something to share. You are uniquely you, and it's great to be celebrated. The way I organized my writing was with a simple notebook. And on my notebook, I wrote every letter from A to Z there on the far left column. And then I tried to think of one word for each letter that would help explain how rich a name can be, and then gave some examples right next to it. And I challenge you, I wonder if you write all the letters on your notebook, can you come up with something from A to Z? I have no doubt that you can. And I hope you'll share it with me too. Here's an example. I had a teacher over the summer when my book first came out in July. She was in summer school and she read my book to her students and she shared some of their writing with me, and I just adored it. If you take a look, here's a couple of examples. T is for Thailand because me and my mom lived there. B is for Beatrice because my aunt's name is Beatrice. J is for Jing Jing. It's my middle name. And here's another one. B is for Burma because my dad lives there. And for the teachers and educators and families, parents in the room, here is a sheet that's available on my website of some guiding questions to help you come up with some other ideas. If you get stuck on some of the letters, this might help you out a bit as well. So at this time, I want to pause for you to be able to share with us. If on your paper you were able to express your name and you would like to come to the camera and show yours expression, we would love to see it too. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so we can see you better. Okay. Would anyone like to share? All right, Miss Chanel. I love it. And you know what? And I said the word love because I see your hearts all over it and the families and the students you work with as well. That is awesome. All right, look at this one. Fantastic. And the color blue with stitch.
God, I love that. Is that Ritzy?
Fantastic. And if anybody else would like to share, you're welcome. Oh, look at this one.
Missy?
Oh, flower.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yes. Names are beautiful, and there's oh my goodness, look at this.
The whole class jumped out. I love that. Oh,
well done, everyone.
wow.
Yes, absolutely. Be proud of your name and express it in all kinds of ways. Be bold to say it, Edgar. Yes. Hello. Oh, I like all of those.
Wow, you drew such a beautiful, wow. Oh, wow.
Excellent job.
Hi,
Abby. Thank you for sharing. Well done.
Hi,
Ben.
Ben.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Yes,
Aubrey.
Aubrey, thank you for sharing. Maddie, look at those extra illustrations you added. That's
Wow.
awesome. Thank you, Maddie. Evelinda. Now I have a special treat. My friend who lives in New York is going to share her book, Blue. And let me tell you, I was blown away by what I learned about the color blue. I had absolutely no idea about the vast majority of what she said. I had a full education. And I tell her all the time, like, her book is so rich with the nonfiction, the things that I learned. I just want to keep rereading it. So please share with us.
Well, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. It is so lovely to meet all of you, Ben, Abby, all of the names that passed through the screen. Thank you so much. And thank you, all of the teachers and librarians that are here. So just as Miss Ekuwah just explained, every name has an address, and I believe that every color has an address as well. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. So first I want to ask what your favorite color is. Do you see it here? So did you know that every color has a history? So as I just mentioned, you know, Miss Ekuwah talked about history, language, geography, all of that being attached to names. Well, colors have that as well. But I focused on history. So I know many of you already know this, but just as a reminder, history is the study of people, things, places, events, or anything really that happened in the past. So technically, something that happened yesterday or even a moment ago is the past, which makes it history. But usually when we say something is history, it happened a long time ago, for example, several years. So I want you to think for a second of a reason why history is important to us in life right now. So today I want to share with you a little bit about the history of the color blue. But first, why do I care about the history of the color blue? Well, I became interested in the color when one day I was reading about the decorations in ancient King Solomon's temple in the Bible, and it said some of the curtains were blue. I wanted to know why the color mattered. So I read several books, research papers, and articles to learn more. And a few of those books are on the screen right now. So if you'll see, there's a book called The Rarest Blue, there's a book called Indigo, and there's a book called Color, A History of the Natural Palette. So here's some of what I found out after reading so many books and so many articles about the color blue. So perhaps because the sky and sea surround us, human beings have always been fascinated by the color. But trying to create a shade of the color that wouldn't fade when you washed it or exposed it to air and sunlight turned out to be extremely hard. So it was a huge deal when in 4500 BC, which is 6,522 years ago, diggers found blue rocks in mines deep below Afghanistan's Sarasang Valley. These blue rocks were called lapis lazuli. But it was back-breaking work to dig up these rocks. It involved digging miles below the earth, carrying the lapis lazuli up, then crushing the rocks into powder. The rock was rare as well, so it was incredibly expensive. Only royalty and rich people could afford it. Ancient Egyptians like Queen Cleopatra used to wear lapis lazuli as jewelry and charms, and wore a mixture of lapis lazuli powder, plants, and animal fat around their eyes because they believed that the blue rock had the power to protect them from evil. Since so many people wanted blue, dyers searched everywhere for other sources of blue, and soon they found the color in the belly of a snail. So this was a huge discovery. The snail was called the Murex trunculus snail, and it's found in Mexico, Japan, Central America, and the Mediterranean. And it produces a secretion kind of like mucus that goes from milky white or brownish yellow to green, then reddish purple, then blue when it's exposed to air and sunlight. And there is actually a legend that a fisherman's dog made this discovery. The dog was walking along the beach, discovered a snail, ate it up, and the tongue turned purple blue. So once again, only rich people could afford snail blue. Why? Because one snail produced about a drop of the color. So thousands of snails had to be either milked, which meant you had to press their foot to get that mucousy secretion, or you had to crush and kill the snail just to dye one royal robe. So there was a new discovery that sort of took over the world in the form of a plant called indigo. This plant grew in Bangladesh and grows in Bangladesh, India, Indonesia, Liberia, and Nigeria, as well as parts of the Caribbean and the Americas. And indigo produced a shade of blue as beautiful and as lasting as snail blue and lapis lazuli, but it didn't require digging way below the earth to bring up these heavy rocks, and it didn't require crushing thousands and thousands of snails. But because it was a lot easier to produce and cheaper to produce, people made a lot of money from it. So sadly, many greedy landowners forced poor workers in India and Bangladesh to farm indigo instead of food. In Africa, indigo was used to buy and sell people into slavery. So it was used as cash. And in the United States, it was called a cash crop. Enslaved Africans were forced to farm the plant. So perhaps because blue was the color of the heavens and yet so rare and hard to create on Earth, people around the world considered the color blue holy. In an old folktale from Liberia, blue is explained as a gift that connects God to human beings. In Indonesia, some say special prayers to ward off evil spirits before they make the dye. In Italy, from the 13th century onward, some artists began reserving the color blue to paint the robes of Mary, the mother of Jesus. In Israel, blue drapes hung in the temple King Solomon built, and many Jews still wear blue dyed threads called scalet. So though blue was eventually made available to everyone by German scientist Adolf von Baer, he created a chemical indigo dye. But some of the ways we use the word blue or think about the color may be connected to the history I just spoke to you about. So for example, when we say things like, oh, something happened just out of the blue, it could be related to the way the colors seem to appear out of nowhere when it was exposed to air and sunlight. So if you remember that puppy that ate that snail and the tongue just turned blue. So that felt like almost like a magical discovery. When we say things like royal blue or someone is awarded a blue ribbon for first prize, that could be connected to the fact that only royalty and the rich could afford blue. And finally, when we say things like somebody is feeling blue or they have the blues, it might be inspired by the painful memories of suffering endured by the enslaved. And when we say something is true blue, which means someone is a true blue person, they're being loyal or they're being faithful or they're real, that could refer to the difference between the authentic lasting blue that everyone in antiquity was searching for and the fake versions of the expensive color that arose to meet the demand back in the day. So blue the book is filled with fascinating facts and stunning visuals by the illustrator Daniel Minter. And there's so much to learn about nature, history, and humanity in the color. And you can trace the story behind your favorite color too. So in your journals or your notebooks, you can start by writing what you like about your favorite color. Was it always your favorite color? What makes it special to you above all the other shades? And then you can talk about how the color makes you feel when you see it, when you wear it. Where do you see the color? At school, at home, or outside? You can also ask family members what the color means if you come from another country or in this country. Ask family members what the color means to them, what the color means in their culture. And you can also ask friends what the color means in their cultures. Finally, you can borrow a book from the library, which is what I did, about the color, and see if there are any connections to the expressions and the feelings that you have about the color. So I asked some first graders actually at George C. Round Elementary School in Manassas, Virginia, and they shared with me so many different thoughts and feelings about their favorite colors, but I just wanted to share a few with you. So Rayhan said that her favorite color was fuchsia. And why? Because fuchsia is the color of flowers and jewelry. Othman loves red because it reminds him of strawberries. And then Michael loves the color yellow because it makes him feel like a bee. So I want to thank everyone for joining us. I'm so delighted that we were able to do this together. And if you have any questions at all, please do share. We're excited to share more with you.
Absolutely fascinating information. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. And if you have any questions or you want to share anything in the chat, you are welcome to. We will stay on to answer any questions you may have, or if you would like to share something with us. But thank you so much, everyone, for coming and spending your time with us. It's so great to see you again. Hello, Ms. Haron's library students. Hello, thank you for joining us today.
Yes, and happy Nevada Reading Week.
Yes, yes. Keep reading. Oh, look at that.
Beautiful.
Bye, thank you.
Bye, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Ms. Sickman's class. Wonderful. And I see the McAllister family has one of their pictures. But bye, Miss Roan's library. Thank you for coming. And Miss Gonzalez as well. Thank you. Good to see you, Kimberly and Brianna. And Miss Alicia. Thank you, Miss Gonzalez, for joining us today. We appreciate it. Thank you, Brianna. Thank you, Dad. And thank you, Mr. Brew-Hammond, for joining us as well. Hi, Kimberly. Good to see everybody. Oh, from Lizzie. Oh.
Thank you, Dustin and Saran and Ellie. Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Maldonado.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Miss Alicia. So good to see you again. I miss you. And Brianna. Hugs to my family engagement families.
To see you too, Ekuwah.
Oh, thanks.
It's good to see you.
Thank you. So good to connect with you all. Thank you for spending some time with us today.
Oh, of course. Very nice stories. It's like you never even realize that there's stories behind colors, you know, so
Right.
that was really interesting.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you so much.
Have a good afternoon.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Brianna. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Thank you, Saran, as well. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Hey, I can't get on video today, but this is awesome. Nice
Thank
to see you, Ekuwah. I don't know you. I'm a friend of Nan's, and I'm gonna get your book too for
Oh,
my
thank
kid.
you.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you for joining us. I appreciate
Sure.
your feedback. Thank you.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you guys. Okay, I'm gonna
Thank
get off.
you.
Okay.
Bye. Talk to you later, Nan.
Bye.
Bye.